Nearly 10 years after 9/11, the world's most wanted man is very much alive. Osama bin Laden is planning attacks all around the world. And top of his hit list is President Barack Obama, a president who made the decision against the odds.
The stakes were just too damn high.
And a raid that almost didn't happen.
They were getting to go and kill the most wanted man on the planet.
This disused health clinic was pinpointed as a Taliban hideout.
Short room. Go.
Once again, there's nothing here.
Coming out. Out. Back up. Clear. Go. Clear. Room clear. All right, come on out.
But turns out not so. These guys have turned tail, run back up into the hills, probably laying IEDs right now, trying to get us on our way out.
While the soldiers continue their painfully slow sweep across the valley, intelligence reports indicate that the Taliban are watching them from the mountains, waiting for the mission to end. As the Afghan proverb says, you may have the watches, but we have the time.
That's the thing with bin Laden is, like, he had his own smart bombs.
Yeah.
Real people. So
yeah,
he was way ahead of us on military technology, if you think about it. Like, his autonomous missiles are people.
Who are people?
But when we went in, we cornered them in Tora Bora. It's this huge cave complex. It's basically, think of it as a fort. So we decide that we're just going to get the locals to do it for us, right? Because they know the caves and all that shit. We're not going to go into those caves. Fuck that, right? And so the rebels at the time that they paid to go into the cave complex and fight, they just negotiated with them and they joined the Taliban. So it's like, what were you thinking? What did you think was going to happen?
Was this the Battle of Tora Bora?
Yes.
Yeah. So that happened 3 months later after the attacks.
U.S. planes unload a steady rain of bombs on the last suspected hideout of Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, so that's when bin Laden supposedly was there and supposedly fled the country.
Okay.
And then there's a gap of intelligence until you get to the Pacer.
Yes. Which he was at the house, right? The one that they eventually killed him in.
Compound in Abbottabad. That was like a few miles from the West Point equivalent in Pakistan.
Yeah.
You know, you would think around here, if I see like a big mansion with a wall around it, I'm going to be like, wonder who lives there.
If Waldo hid the way Osama bin Laden did, I wouldn't find those books so incredibly frustrating. Look, that's him right there. He's in the giant high-walled compound. He's right there. But
Yeah.
So we want to look at this in the dynamic of the United States abducting and torturing people, specifically, because, like I said, there was a lot of people who would harbor people, and that's what got them labeled as terrorists.
We tortured some folks.
So there was probably a lot of that in the beginning, but eventually he found this compound, and the question is did Pakistan know about it?
The ISI said they believed bin Laden was dead, despite verified voice tapes released as late as 2011. The report finds no one at the ISI had any suspicions about the compound, something that was an extraordinary example of intelligence and security incompetence.
I don't see how Pakistan couldn't know.
Finally, during the summer of 2010, an NSA computer in Baltimore listens in on a mobile phone conversation.
He's talking.
The United States story, is that allegedly the NSA had a satellite image where they kept seeing a guy who was in this compound because they were like, hey, that's a really suspicious building right here. And they kept seeing this guy who would walk around the garden and never leave.
The agency throws everything it has into the effort to track Kuwaiti. Satellites with optical technology that can pick out an individual car from 600 miles above the ground. And a brand new drone, a pilotless surveillance aircraft, carrying infrared and other sensors, cruising in near silence at over 50,000 feet, invisible to Pakistani radar.
So they had been trying to get in there for some time because they had suspicion that it was bin Laden.
After his arrest, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the alleged mastermind of 9/11, revealed under interrogation that he knew al-Kuwaiti, but that he was not active in al-Qaeda. In 2004, another prisoner told interrogators that al-Kuwaiti was close to bin Laden. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and Mohammed's successor, Abu Farij al-Libi.
In what context have you ever heard the name Abu Ahmed?
He works for Faraj and bin Laden. He is his most trusted courier.
When confronted with the prisoner account, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed maintained his original story. Abdul Faraj al-Libi was captured in 2005 and transferred to Guantanamo in September 2006. Because both Mohammed and al-Libi had minimized al-Kuwaiti's importance, officials speculated that he was part of bin Laden's inner circle.
So I think that there was a lot of abductions where they would find people who, you know, had contact with Osama, but Osama would only work through his courier. So they would keep saying that. It's like, I didn't know. I worked through a guy. And then that's what the main thing that was being, you know, because we clearly were torturing people for this intelligence. But it's like, did we find the courier ourselves? Did we find Pacer ourselves? Or did we find people who had contact with Osama bin Laden and they said we only work through his courier? And that established a profile of courier and somebody who was in a compound who wouldn't leave.
Yeah. It's a very interesting story. I heard, and it's probably not true, but I heard that the Australians had a part in actually figuring out that it was him, like the SAS.
Yeah, well, so what they were doing is they were buying houses around the compound to have surveillance on him.
Agents who look Pakistani and speak Urdu move into an empty house overlooking the compound and start to watch everything that happens there.
Who lived in the compound? What was there? Were there guards? Were there people walking around inside with guns?
Yeah. So I heard rumors, and they don't tell us, right? Most people don't even know that the SAS exists in Australia.
Yeah, I mean, they committed a lot of war crimes in Afghanistan.
Well, they do now because there's a TV show about it. Because of course there is.
They think they know what's coming. They're going to have the absolute shock of their lives.
Celebrity SAS Who Dares Wins returns Monday at 9 on Channel 4.
Oh no! Al-Qarinj!
Navy SEAL who like choked a guy to death not that long ago.
That's fun.
Like another soldier to death and didn't get punished for it. Like there's a lot of stories about the Navy SEAls and like how they're just like have impunity to commit war crimes and stuff.
Yeah, and it's basically the same with Australia, but they did charge one of the Victoria Cross recipients for war crimes.
SAS soldier Corporal Ben Robert Smith has been honoured with the Victoria Cross for his exceptional courage on the battlefield. The VC is Australia's highest military decoration. Corporal Ben received the Victoria Cross for single-handedly taking out 3 Taliban gun emplacements. Here's the ceremony in Perth a short time ago.
Good morning, Corporal. What a privilege it is to hold your precious and beautiful Victoria Cross of Australia in my hands and to reflect on what it signifies.
He is an Afghan with a prosthetic leg who has been shot dead by the SAS. And here are soldiers and officers using the same leg to drink booze. Ben Robert Smith is smiling and embracing one man who drank from the leg. But here's the worst part. It's alleged Ben Robert Smith was the soldier who unlawfully executed the man with the prosthetic leg. It's an accusation he denies, but police are continuing to investigate it.
Nobody's asking where the sociopaths that initiated this conflict, you know, where are their bank accounts? Where are their stocks and their shares? Where are the ones that have sold billions upon billions of dollars worth of ordnance, so bombs, bullets, guns? Where are the ones that have profited off all the so-called reconstruction in the Middle East? Do you get what I'm saying? Where are the people whose bank accounts are now overflowing off the back of not just the deaths in the Middle East, which must have surpassed 1 million now? I mean, they were saying that 10 years ago, possibly in the millions, and all our injured boys and girls coming back in body bags, coming back with no legs, maybe no arms, lost their sight. What about all those children that have lost their daddies or their mums? Got to go the rest of their life now, never having known who their freaking father was, right? Why is no one questioning this issue? Why are we, you know, we're all pissing our pants over someone drinking out of a prosthetic leg? This is war. It's not supposed to be nice. There's no rules to it. I know we have Geneva Convention. Well, one side has the Geneva Convention, don't they? How does it get to this? Let me just bring me back up. It's really important to understand that the military recruits teenagers.
Wasn't very successful getting any new clients at the conference today, but while the conference floor is where the arms dealers formally exhibit their exciting new weapons, we know the real deals get made at the pub afterwards. So I decided there's no better way to fit in with these military heavyweights than showing them I can drink like a true war hero. Once they see me do a Ben Robert Smith leggy, they'll be sure to take me in and buy my weapons.
Hi fellas, how you going? Yeah, you reckon? It's pretty good. It's Ben Robert Smith style, you know, for the big day at the conference. It's really inappropriate. Inappropriate. Do you guys want to have a go? No? No. It's like an Aussie war hero though, you know? It's really inappropriate. Okay, more for me then. Yeah, maybe we can like chant though? Like skull, 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 go.
Dude, you just said it's inappropriate. What the fuck?
It's an Aussie war hero though.
But there were also there was other things where Australian military got caught flying Nazi flags out the back of their people.
Yeah, the United States had the same shit. Yeah,
it's funny because I'm not excusing them. Like that's fucking reprehensible, but that's sort of like an Australian humor thing. Like I bet you they were just taking the piss.
Well, so the after the withdrawal from Afghanistan, there was 2 suicide attacks that killed soldiers, and people got pissed at this Vice journalist because it was like, why are so many Marines Nazis? And he published it on the same day that this attack happened.
Oh,
so like he had to private all his accounts. Like there was like so much torch burning over this guy. It's like, dude, he's just told to write that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's just like a grind worker. Like what are they like? It's just it's all bullshit, you know?
There's probably a contributor as well.
I don't know. There's
he's probably not even hired. He's just a contributor for Vice.
There's definitely a lot of supremacists in the military.
Oh, there would have to be, wouldn't there?
You know, they're on the front line, sent to kill, trained to kill, under the highest amount of pressure. And I'm not excusing bad behavior here. I'm just explaining as we go along. And when they let their hair down, fuck, they're gonna let their hair down. And